Devotional. Under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91 verse 1. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High shall dwell under the shadow of the Almighty. In a world filled with uncertainty and danger, this verse reminds us that there is a safe place of refuge, God's presence. Dwelling under His shelter means living in communion with Him, trusting in His protection, and resting in His love. 1. Indwelling in God, an ongoing relationship. The psalmist speaks to us of dwelling in the shelter of the Most High, which implies a permanence, and not just an occasional visit. It is not just about turning to God in times of crisis, but about living in constant communion with Him through prayer, obedience, and trust. 2. The shadow of the Almighty, secure protection. Just as the shade of a tree protects us from the scorching sun, so the shadow of God covers us from the dangers and anxieties of life. His omnipotence assures us that nothing escapes His control and that we can fully rely on His protection. 3. Confidence at all times. This verse encourages us to trust God at all times. Although the world around us is uncertain, its shadow covers us and gives us peace. It does not mean that we will never face difficulties, but it does mean that we will never be alone in them. Practical applications. 1. Cultivate a daily relationship with God. Don't seek God only in times of need. Remain in His presence through prayer and meditation on His Word. 2. Rest in their protection. When you feel fear or uncertainty, remember that God is your safe haven and that He cares for you at all times. 3. Share the assurance that God gives. Just as you have experienced God's peace in your life, encourage others to seek refuge in Him and trust in His power. Conclusion. Dwelling under the shadow of the Almighty is a privilege for those who trust in God. In His presence we find refuge, strength, and peace. Are you choosing to live under their shelter every day?